host. So, okay, recording in progress, and that means, guys, welcome to the PM 101. Basically,
Hello.
PM is private message me, right now, but in our context, we use PM as a term to refer to project managers, which you are all, and project management. 101 is, the basic, the highlight. So I'm first, I wanted to congratulate for the success of the
Thank you
Indigedos.
so much.
That is an amazing load. And as an external viewer, I am very amazed. How did you all pull this through? And I'm yung behind the scenes of how. So can you introduce yourself and specifically what role do you do in the Istorya sa Kalinaw?
All right, I think I'll go first. Hello everyone. I am Rodel, Sugan, Kaiska Rods. They know me as Kaiska Rods. In Istorya sa Kalinaw, I am the team lead and the co-founder as well of Istorya sa Kalinaw.
Yes.
Jibs.
Hello everyone. Hi, Ate Arjo.
Hi.
I am Jeeves Claudy Dawang Pasinabo, the media director of Istorya sa Kalinaw. I am one of yung behind the scene na yung techie guys sa likod ng Istorya sa Kalinaw.
But now we see your face. So this is the face of the person that does the magic behind the scenes. First, Jeans, I was like, I wanted to learn from you. I was like, I wanted to have something like that. And then it's your flyers are so techy. Yeah, I don't know what kind of what tool are you using, but one thing for sure that I have observed is that you guys are using tools available to you, or you are learning tools new to you to come up with something. There's that creativity. So our context of sharing is that I'm gonna try to share my screen so that you would know this one. This one. I don't know if you're able to see that reading view. So if you are in the Act International Consulting LLC, you're very familiar with the scope of what we are trying to do, right?
Mhm.
So in the application of the recently concluded na Istorya sa Kalinaw second anniversary Indigedos, first I wanted to tackle on the initiating phase of a project. Who among your team really suggested or coined the term Indigedos?
I suggested the term indigenous, but actually we had a poll, no? If you can see in the chat group, may poll tayo dyan na binobotohan natin. We gathered suggestions from all the core members, and when a person suggests a theme or a term, for example, he is asked or she is asked to justify bakit ganyan. Bakit ganyan ang maging theme natin? Why not this? And
Yes.
basically, ang mga suggestions nun, we have katutubo, which katutubo, because we are celebrating the second year. And the Indigedos, yun yung mga final suggestions. And the Indigedos is that, ayun, at the end of the deliberation, medyo matagal yun kasi, bakit ganito? Bakit baka hindi siya maging patok? Because yun nga, Facebook is a home of a lot of competitors, no? There is a huge competition on Facebook. And in fact, top 200 lang every day ang makikita natin na mga posts in our feed. So how will you make your brand stand out? Yun ang ano natin, ang parang goal natin. So to make the story short, we came up with going for Indigedos. So Indigedos is Indigedos are terms. It's a word play, no? Because ayun nga, the goal is to actually give people like, bakit Indigedos? Anong nasa Indigedos when they get to read that? And it makes them curious
Create
and visit
curiosity, create curiosity and interest. So there's a specific purpose. Well, by you answering that is really like, when we said in our initiating phase that we created the project charter, right? Project charter is
Mm-hmm.
basically the high-level documentation of your why, just the justification of your project. And in this context, your team, you as the main stakeholders, you have identified your team members to decide on that team rin. So it's unanimous. So nagbotohan, merong mas
Yeah, yeah.
lamang yung bot ng mas lamang ang boto ng Indigedos over the Kato Tubo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes po,
Wow.
ate. So
Yeah.
so yeah, because the term was also justified, yun nga yung wordplay ng indigenous and the dos na
The
term.
DOS.
Yeah, since we are celebrating the second year of Istorya sa
Second
Kalinaw.
year.
2 years.
2 years. So
Two
when did you
indigenous years.
from the time that that was conceptualized, up to what
Mm-hmm.
point kayo nag-proceed into with respect to high-level milestone, identifying your high-level milestone of
Mm-hmm.
conceptualizing the theme, the focus, because in your Indigedos, you have so many other events, sub-projects
Mm-hmm.
somehow na in support to the main theme. How long did you have assigned specific people to own
Yes.
specific projects?
Mm-hmm. Yes po. So as the kuya and the team lead no sa team, um the goal of Indigedos is to actually create a virtual festivity, no, festival parang ganon for the indigenous community. And you know, when we celebrate festivals in communities, hindi lang iisang event that we have fun. We have the
Uh-huh.
serious one na parang which is the colloquium in our on our end, no. And we have the awarding and all that fun, no. So yun, what we did is we also brainstormed about anong pwede natin gawin to make this a holistic celebration. So suggestions were coming, no, doon sa for example the ano nga yung first natin, Jibs, na event? Yeah, that piece by piece, because
Piece by piece.
before the opening of the celebration, we need people to know that we are celebrating something. We need people
Mhm.
to connect to people and tell them that hey guys, my celebration kami dito. So that served as a countdown. If you can notice, no, if you noticed during that time, the piece by piece started on Saturday and the opening was on Monday next week nun. So I think we have 2 days no before that. So yun, mayroon ng engagement doon sa page natin, and it's a sign that people are there, and I think the audience is ready for a live stream para sa ating Indigedos na opening. Oo, yun naman po for example doon sa mga piece by piece, Lakas at Ganda, the colloquium, we assign particular people. I didn't like do everything. We have the head for the Lakas at Ganda, si Kaiska June and Kaiska Eden, who
Mhm.
like to to craft the criteria, to craft all the mechanics of the competition, and to provide videos and conceptualize things. Yun po.
Wow. So wow,
Mhm.
that is really like pretty much with respect to yung planning ninyo. I'm looking at it from the perspective of, as I said, your team actually adopted the non-traditional approach to project management. You actually did a very much yung agile, yung adaptive, very flexible kayo. Tapos you organize your team into maximum 3 to 4
Yeah.
members. In the context of agile, especially sa Scrum na tinatawag, these are teams of a very, very focused group na diverse yung kanilang talents and skills, able to do things, tapos self-organizing. That means sila yung, sabi mo nga, sila yung magde-decide for their specific project. Walang nagma-mandate sa kanila. Hindi top-down approach. They plan for whatever they need to do, and then they execute the plan. They adjust, they adapt, they improve as time moves on. So as I can see, this Indigenous, as I said, has really like resonated more on the agile and very adaptive na approach. And then especially on the concept ng Scrum na masyadong time box. So time box yung inyong engagement because yung deadline ng Lakas and Ganda is different sa deadline ng
Yes.
piece by piece. Yung
Mhm.
deadline ng multitudes, ng colloquium is different. Yung engagement ng mga participants on when. So this is a very interesting thing. But although in our mentoring, it kind of more follows the different concepts, which is more skewed to the traditional na project management. But I saw how your team has really used more on the agile na concepts. Agile
Yeah.
is a different approach na I'll have to also like focus on from the mentoring na side. But that's why I wanted to
Mhm.
talk more to you all. Tapos yung there is that power in your team, yung inyong stakeholder engagement, especially sa captured audience ninyo, which is the millennials, the younger generations, the tech savvy ones. That is really very impressive. Of course, I love, hi Melchor, Melchor Melesio is on board. I love that the pagiging machika ni Melchor and then ni mga co-partners, the mga MCs na ni Charlie, si Janelle, whoever was on board at the time. It's kung ako, older generation na ako, I still wanted to be part of it kasi nakakainganyo. Nakakainganyo na although younger yung approach, but still I don't feel like I'm being left out because I'm in the older generation. And that is part of stakeholder engagement ninyo, I think, in your planning
Mhm.
side. I know that you have engaged me on the planning. Remember, we have that
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
brainstorming with me, and then the guidelines, and before you really like did the execution, the implementation of the different phases, and who to talk to. But during the executing and the implementation phase of your project, I have noticed that you have stakeholders that you are scouting for sponsorship at the same time. You are
Mhm.
fundraising at the same time implementing your project, which is hard to do because most of the ideally you already have the funds that you're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
spend for your project. But in your case, you are fundraising at the same time doing all of these cycles of the life cycle of the project in the mix of it all. And I've I've noticed that one of the sponsors, I think Monique, was very much impressed by the feature of the teachers, the cultural masters. Remember, I told
Artisans.
you the artisans, like,
Mhm.
we are not only going to feature those who are models, but behind the models, who are those people behind them? Because they are the ones usually not seen, not recognized. And Monique was very much touched, and I'm so impressed that she took a step, an action on providing the cash to honor also the cultural artist. Is that right? Is that assumption, is
Yeah.
that observation right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that happened in the execution already. You did not
Yes po.
plan for that,
No, we did not plan for that.
but that was a change that you are welcome to receive.
Yes,
A
yes. A
positive
positive
change,
change.
a positive
Yeah, it
risk.
is.
What I mean is that, we learned about the project management natin that there's risks is both positive and negative. Risks
Mhm.
are things that you are not certain to happen to come, but they are there. What Monique presented is it's an unknown positive risk. You don't know that she is going to donate. You don't know that she is going to be touched by I think during the time of the judging. Remember, you gave us a
Yeah.
time frame for the
Mhm.
judging. So when I saw that, Monique is being honored, it's like, oh, so that happens during the judging. It was a positive change. It was an unknown positive risk
Mhm.
that your team was actually surprised.
Yes, yes, ate.
So,
We actually kami rin eh. That was actually the before the awarding night. And
Mm.
sabi namin how we can because we are actually planning to have to recognize no our artisans as well
Yes.
na who made it to the top no ng kanilang mga gawa who yung participant na present na talaga ng mabuti ng maayos yung
Mm.
ating participants because they deserve that. So yun,
Yes.
she sent me actually the picture of the two artisans. Sabi niya, I was struck by these two artisans. So in like for in appreciation, Look by MKS would like to give this and like share no the like her appreciation, personal appreciation to the artisans for helping preserve their culture.
Yeah. Well, as I
Yun.
told you, there's nothing wrong with asking, but there can
Mhm.
always be wrong when you are assuming. But you know, you
True.
ask for her to be on part of the board, one of the
Mhm.
board of judges. If she could not have been part of the board of judges, you would not have an opportunity for her to be blessed that way and for her to take
Yeah.
action voluntarily. You did not
Mhm.
you did not solicited her to do that, right? It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
voluntary action of a stakeholder. She is a very, very key stakeholder in this project because she's a judge. So you have
Yeah.
identified the stakeholder, but you did not know the level of the interest of the stakeholder have increased from this much only of your expectation to more than what you have expected.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, si Melchor, I wanted to ask your insight kasi ikaw yung judge. Ikaw yung isa sa mga MCs. How did you feel about, announcing the cash prizes especially? Melchor, it's your
Hello.
time.
Yes. Ano ate kanang first ato is na-shock with me kasi we never
Aha,
expect nga mag-donate si ate og cash kasi actually as a financer, 'di ba, medyo na-struggle kasi medyo na short yung yung budget but because
aha,
of at kasi pero dito murag ano siya kanang blessings jud siya ate kay nag-chat na si Ate Monique nga Rodel ano siya nga mag-donate kog 4K sa duha ka best art sa duha ka artisan. So mga
mm,
actually certificate lang jud among ihatag ato.
Mhm.
But because of
ah,
Ate
Yeah.
Monique, yes. But because of Ate
oh,
Monique, siya jud ang naka-save sa among ate. So
Yeah.
very
yes.
happy and wa jud mi na-expect.
Mm. That is something na I think that was as a result of honoring your work and then being open and transparent na this is what you can do best. If other people is able to contribute, then they will just take an action to contribute. No if, no but, no why. No walang kimi-kimi na action, no? Kung na ay resources, just go. So and then you welcomed it. It's a change to something because you did not plan for it, di ba? Hindi niyo pinlan yan, but that's one thing that yung stakeholder, kaya sabi ko, yung stakeholder engagement, I really appreciate on how you're able to sustain and actually engage the interest ng mga key stakeholders sa level na viewer lang sila, to now supporter, to now your partner, to now your sponsor, right? And then, hindi nyo naman talaga pinlano strategically na magiging ganyan yung reaction nila. It just came naturally, you know? So, and then another one in your implementation talaga is that as from an external observer and as a mentor, I'm so proud of your collaterals, the promotion collaterals. They're so creative, they're so cute. Who did them? Sino?
Jibs did them.
Jibs? Jibs,
Jibs
I
alone.
wanted to hear from you kung how
Sa-
how did you do them, yung mga creative na hindi lang naka-static, it's so nice. Let's go now to your, let's go. I'm gonna stop this share screening, but this is the topic of our conversation today. I'm gonna screen your Istorya sa Kalinaw. I wanted to go to your Istorya sa Kalinaw na, na thing. Ilalagay ko muna yung mga busy pa ang aking beauty ngayon. So, i-reply ko yung mga group chat maya na. So now are you able to see the screen? It is your
Yes.
Facebook page. So
Yes.
this flyer, this flyer, you know what it represents? It represents a roadmap, a timeline. And I'm so proud as your ate, as your mentor, that you have applied, these are high-level milestones, shall we speak, in project management. I wanted to point that out because as you can maybe notice in our Facebook group, masyadong technical yung mga terms na nasi-share ko doon. Na I don't know how it is being received, your team members. Nakaka-relate ba kayo doon sa terms na yun? But when I see this kind of graphics, I was like, wow, they are doing timelines, they are doing a roadmap for the whole event. And this is perfect. It visualizes everything that you wanted to do for this project. So, Jibs, I wanted to listen.
All right.
Go
Actually
Chiefs.
that PubMat, yung roadmap, it took 1 week bago ko natapos. Kasi
Wow.
ang daming changes, may mga suggestions sa Rodel, and then hindi na naman accepted. Actually yun nga, sabi ko sa kanya, grabe naman tong team lead namin, very kuti. Lagi
Well,
ko reklamo sa kanya.
that's the role of a team lead. That's it. Wala siyang maibuga na team lead if he is not going to do the role. Yeah.
Opo, and then one day sabi ko sa kanya, matulog ka na lang muna tapos pagising mo, tapos na tong PubMat. Kasi yun, pagising niya, then tinapos ko, naisip ko yung roadmap kasi nakita ko yung kung pansinin mo yung Indigedos, may logo diyan na yung parang pen.
Pen. Yeah.
Yung
Yeah.
pen yung sa Rizal, parang ganyan. And then doon ko diyan siya na-inspired na parang what if gumuhit ako ng isang parang daan ng ink na galing doon kanya, and then ilagay ko yung mga event activities namin o sequence ng events namin. And then yun, tapos sabi niya, that's okay na, then go. Yun po, Ate Arjo.
Jibs, for our online mentoring is very now focused, but I wanted you to see the future of what you are doing. That all of you have really be a potential of maximizing, leveraging this knowledge that you have right now to be professional project managers. And Jib, what you just expressed to me na maraming mga changes, then accepted, hindi accepted, that is really agile. What you guys telling to me, I have studied this, hindi nyo makarelate pa ito, pero I have studied this, ito yung ginastudyuhan ko sa Scrum. Yung Scrum na ito masyadong yung project management siya na methodology, pero masyado siyang adaptive sa changes. Tapos siya specific na karang time frame that changes has to be done. Ginagawa ito na tawag nila na sprint. So you actually did a sprint of weekly or 2 weeks time na meron kang improvement. Then you present that improvement. Then the team will critique that improvement kung acceptable or not. So ang nangyayari dito, product owner, kumbaga si Rodel, siya yung nagsiset ng requirement. Ikaw yung nasa team, technical team ka, nagpo-produce ng mga requirement na ito. I just wanted to give a high view na it's a knowledge work. What you did is a knowledge work. It's not a typical that when you construct, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know what pieces is going to be put together. That is waterfall. That is highly predictive project. But you are dealing with a knowledge work, which is very much subjected to uncertainties, subjected to lots of changes. But then on your end, I have to credit you for being so gracious in your patience. Because if you don't have the patience, if you don't have the value of patience, you will really be pissed off by your team lead. And then you would not appreciate his being makulit. You will develop grudges and stuff. Masyadong makulit, mayroon bang ikaw naghihimo. Karang mga ana-ana ba? But, you took it as a challenge na I can do this. I can do this. You express your creativity in this piece of work. And it is really something beautiful. And I wanted to scroll down again. The capturing, the branding, you guys have really stand up. Okay, it's now, okay, we're gonna come back, okay? We'll be come back for part 2.
Ate, there's no time na daw po according to Zoom.
Okay, we'll have to, let me
Yes.
see if I'll have to stop recording now. Well, let me see.
No, I think you'll just continue po.
Okay.
Like they have gifted us like more than, they have removed the 40 minutes.
Okay,
Something.
awesome. Okay, so we can just like continue. That is very good. But that's one thing that I wanted to really like stress on Jibs. So on the videos, on how you created the videos. So what specific tool, Jibs, that you used?
Charlie, who created the video, Ate Arjo, he is the
Oh.
person assigned to the video. Like every video of Iska, siya yung ga-take charge because Jibs is focused on the graphics and all that.
Graphics and the going live,
Yeah.
of
The going
everything.
live.
So
Yeah.
it's really something that as I was looking at it, as if I am watching shows of ABS-CBN, GMA, those kinds of things. And then I am really curious of what are the tools that you are using behind the scenes. That this is something actually na masyadong doable. But coming from indigenous peoples, younger professionals, I am so proud that this is a manifestation that when we are given equal footing for our tools, when we are given the same take-off point, we can flourish, diba? We can do things. That's what I have observed na talagang yung what you all guys have modeled is that we indigenous peoples can do something na can do something technical, can do something nice, can do something na dili buki. Kasi 'di ba, yung mga stereotypes they're really out there. But what your team have done is you are not telling us or the other people. You are showing. You are showing us how these things is getting done. Again, back to the agile na flexibility, agile na concept. It is more about showing rather than telling. It's showing how is it being done, how you have to emulate, how are we going to show to people na dili mi buki, nga dili ang mga katutubo na alang sa bukid. Kasi yun yung mga stereotype nila. Yung how you lift up yung bukid na mga scenario as something part of life that we have to embrace it. Na hindi negative na nasa bukid tayo. Hindi negative na, where is our locality. We embrace that as part of our identity. And you have, in your graphics, you have beautifully merged the modern and the traditional. And yet there is much respect for both. You are not, there is a compromise, but there is mutual respect for both kumbaga extreme na sabihin mo traditional and modern. Just look at this one. May buildings which is modern. The going out to nowhere, to forever nga. Asa ka padulong didto? Asa man ang didto? Yung didto ang simod. Kung asa makaabot ang didto. Asa ang inyong balay didto. So it shows how your team is really being very very adaptive and communicating that message that, we can be modern, but we can still be culturally grounded, which is from the perspective of the Kafiblaan, we are really very happy that younger generations are taking a step and are taking a bold move, that we are not going to be defined by other people, that we are going to be defined by ourselves. Now, with respect to that, defining ourselves in these multitudes, who coined the word multitude? I am curious.
Yeah, I still coined the word multitudes.
Aba,
So,
lumalabas na kung sino yung mga mga
yeah,
words
yeah.
and stuff. Okay.
Mga words, in terms of words, I'm like ganahan ko mag-create of something, mga
Yeah.
words or yeah, I love that. And multitudes, actually yun nga ang sinabi ko sa colloquium, multitudes is our message to the world, sabi ko. Because you know, the thing that I keep on saying, that people always see Mindanao as a place of war, a place of
Yes,
endless conflict. But they didn't
exactly.
know that Mindanao is a home to multitudes of peace-loving indigenous people. That is
Mm-mm.
why we crafted this term, multitudes. So yun, actually grabe yung struggle namin, baka multitude siya, but we have a few participants who will be attending. But then looking at on the positive side, sabi namin kung may few man siya or marami, a participant is a representation of his or her community, and he will bring that knowledge that he or she gained from the colloquium and share it to his or her community.
And
And still, it's multitudes.
you exactly achieved that particular objective in this project. You exactly there's a proof, evidence of everything from start to finish. I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm happy that I shared specifically as I showed to you. I don't know if you're able to see this. This is the book. This is what I don't like masyado sa yung nagkaroon ka ng virtual nagmi-mix up kumbaga yung team, but you did something that is really again a reflective of your way of working. So you maximize kung saan yung strength mo, then focus on that. Yung strength ni Jibs, focus on that. But Jibs is also open to suggestions of others. Yung strength ni Melcher, yung strength ng other team members, you have shown that in your conduct of the program, which is worthy really to celebrate. Ito, Jibs, ikaw rin ang gumawa nitong lakas at ganda na graphics?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes po.
Credits.
Yeah.
Credits sa kay
Credits. Pero yung mga animation, kinuha ko lang doon sa isang website. Bali yung outline, blinak and white. Then,
What tool do you use? PDF or ano ba yung Adobe? What specific techie?
Photoshop po.
Photoshop. So I have to learn that Photoshop thing. So you did it in Photoshop. And Rodel was saying that Jibs is really like into this kind of technical stuff. So you can really like, I wanted you guys na please document, because this project is going to be a track record of your group, of your organization. And you are all professionals. You have to embrace that this is a professionally done project and a production. As in, mas sabi ko talaga dito, mas na-produce niyo siya ng ganyan kaysa sa mga iba kong nakikita. Kaya, you have to be very, very proud of yourself, and I wanted you to document that, the processes that you've done, because you can never tell later on how this volunteer works that you all do is going to impact you and benefit you professionally in advancing you. Rodel, I've shared this to you, in advancing your professional career as a project manager. This is I'm doing that because we are trying to advance project management, not because it is only a role, not because it is a designation, but it is really a profession. So I wanted you to embrace on that part of the thing. And with this one, look at this piece by piece is another component. This is so, nakaka-excite. I don't know what's the feedback of Hans on this, Rodel, but I think Hans, I'm so thankful that he's shared this, the photos. But how you did this puzzle stuff? Who did that?
Jib.
James again did that.
Again. Our graphic designer.
So how did you crafted na tapos yun bang magpa-flash, nalingaw jud ko ani.
Yeah. Photoshop din dyan ate. Bali four pictures yan, and then parang nilagay ang tawag niyan? Website sa isang parang easy GIF, and then doon ko nilagay yung apat na photos, and then pinag-play lang, then yan na yung lumabas.
Wow. You know, Jib, what I mean is that are you able to train somebody in your team? Like what for hypothetical scenario. If Jibs will suddenly has to go to the hospital because he has to take good care, if at that point Jibs has to go to the hospital because he has to take good care of a family member, and Jibs is the only resource, the only human resource that can do this behind the scene, what will become of your program, guys? Have you thought about
He will
that?
lay out. He will still work in the hospital.
Grabe.
But I am throwing that
Yeah.
out. I am throwing that out possibility because this is not going to be your last project. But what I'm
True.
stressing is that this is a highly technical skill that no one can just learn within minutes or hours. So what I'm stressing now is that Jibs could have a good practice to mentor somebody how he did it, because it's important that may katuwang siya and somebody could understand. If it could have been Charlie, because Charlie also works with the media kind of side, but at least Jibs should have a buddy parang partner that will take off that, because see, you are very young. You don't know what kind of opportunities are going to be knocking at your doors. This is something that you are doing now because of your passion. But also, you have to be practical that given in our passion, there is also that the term called obligation. That you have the obligation to find, greener pasture and stuff, your obligation. If you will be working in a private company or you will be working with another organization, because you are paid to do that, you now have an obligation. So how are you going to balance your passion and now your obligation? So I'm trying to, put it out there because these are the things that you have to consider. I know you're very young, but also you are going to grow older. So that is also part of our reality of life. But this is a very promising group and organization that I hope you will get funding so that you will have to continue to sustain your projects and team members can have an earning as a result of this. There are so many nonprofit organizations that were able to take off, that were able to pay their staff, that they're able to pay the team because they have the capacity to do it. And my prayer is for your organization to be on that level so that at the same time, you do your passion, but at the same time, you are also satisfying your obligation. Because you are professionals, it's time, you earn something from what you do. And, why not? So in my capacity as a mentor, I'll try to bridge opportunities that I will find along the way, so that you can create a project. But those projects has to be funded. NCCA is one that I am thinking of right now. I hope that on your next celebration, I will have to find a way how to connect you with NCCA because they have grants. And specifically, you can do the same thing. But now you have funds. You have funds for your logistic, fund for your team members, even minimal, but you have to operate like a project that is with operating expense. That you are not going to take because fundraising itself is another project. But what you did, pinagsabay ninyo ang fundraising at the same time, planning, initiating, and all of this project management at once. And I am so proud. I am so proud because dito sa USA, it's hard to do that. So I wanted you to know of, I want, you might not, hindi nyo siguro nakikita ito. That's why we're having this. I know you did a post-evaluation, right, as a team. But I am trying to stress this, and hopefully we can share this in the ACT Facebook page so that people would be learning from you and they'll get to know you. And I hope by now, nakikita ninyo yung impact of what you did on the risk management, Rodel. Tapos yung change management, you performed the integrated change management control. You did the monitoring when you are asking Jibs, kailan man yan matatapos? Jibs, it is not good. Jibs, this one is nothing. When yung team members din you ay nagko-collaborate, nag-give ng feedback na dapat mas pagandahin natin ng ganito, i-improve natin ng ganito. That is monitoring and controlling. Because at the end of the day, what you wanted to produce is quality output and outcome na measurable, outcome na with high impact. So that is, all in all, is part of project. And you closed out your project, right? The celebration ended, right? So now you did your, the closing phase of your project. After that, you did your lessons learned. And I hope that in that lessons learned, I hope that you are able to document yung tinatawag na repository of information ng mga lessons learned ninyo. How are you able to archive those lessons learned so that the next generations of the leaders that will take off for the organization will be able to get back and learn from it if you're able to even produce a handbook. A volunteer handbook would be great. There are so many possibilities that your organization can really take off. But I wanted you to share the message to you that leverage and capitalize with what you have already, because you will be needing this in your future projects. So to share to everyone, as I told Rodel, there is a speaking engagement opportunity that I would share later on pag finalize na. But this what you did is something that I would wanted to share to that organization on the power of the youth, on the power of the use of social media, and the power of virtual. You have capitalized the virtual opportunity to engage so many. Actually, you have engaged internationally. I am from the US. Monique is in Australia. Agnes is in the Netherlands. Becca is in Texas. You know, it's then so many other more. See, Hazel Conan is in Poland, right? Yes, she is in Poland. So many people that you have engaged. This is a virtual international project, and you did it seamlessly. There are some technical hiccups, but it is acceptable. It is acceptable and within the tolerable kumbaga na risk. Still, it's a risk because the lagging time, those are negative risks, but they are tolerable. Your team was able to cope up with it, and you have to give due credit to your maabtik na mga MC. I am seeing how they shift agad. Kung hindi nagsisynchronize yung technical team sa kung saan na sila, they make fun of themselves to kill the time. Very good strategy, Melchor, Charlie, Janelle, whoever are the MC people. I am observing them as an external viewer. I am observing them in a way because I wanted you to see that those are part of your strategic na mga approach. How are you responding to the risks? If the risks will arise na ay naglag behind or ang gipresent sa technical team dili mao sa gisulti sa MC, how are you going to respond? Di ba? si Melchor at sada kaagad siya. I wanted to hear from Fidel. Fidel, I see the name Fidel in here, Fidel Tangob. What's your experience like in this project? If you can share some insights. Fidel?
Hello po.
Hello.
Hello po. Hello, good
Yes.
morning. Good morning
Uh-huh.
from Philippines. Yes po.
Yes.
Ano ba yung insight sa ano?
Sa
Ako yung
Indigedos as a project, everything that have happened.
ano po. Basically nandun na ako sa ano sa parang sa likod lang god ng ano ng ako lang yung
Tina.
nag-guide sa ano. Po,
Likod ka ng kortina.
sa likod po ng ano, sa likod po ng I mean sarap ng mga host kami yung nag-assist po sa kanila.
So kinsang nagahimo og script? Na ba sila karang script or they are extemporaneous yun?
Meron pong script.
Meron po. Yung mga host.
Ate, ang mga host natin, sila Janelle, sila June, ang nag-craft ng script. But most of the time, I mean, the script is just a guide to everything. As much as possible, we want it to appear natural kasi parang
Yes.
ano na masyado kong scripted. Yan.
Uh-huh.
Fidel, please carry on.
Yes po, hello.
Yes.
May ano kasi dito ngayon sa ano sa may sasakyan, may palis kasi kami.
No problem. But I hope that you know the value of your contribution to this team. Do not take it lightly. Do not take it lightly. Be proud of it. And Rodel, yung project na ito, document it. Kasi I'm really looking forward that each of you will later on become certified project management professionals at that level. But in the context of PMI kasi, you have to document how many hours you have spent in initiating a project, in the planning part, in executing, and the closing. So you have to, from the time that your team planned in if 3 months ito or 4 months ito na engagement, that is project. So I wanted you to document when did it started, when it ended, ano yung ilang hours yung na-devote ninyo sa initiating it, sa planning it, executing it, because I'm really hoping that hopefully later on in my other thing, in the next level up ng mentoring would be the professional project management certifications for you all. That is the best you can do for yourself. And these projects that you're doing now are track record. Question, is your organization at least like, may legal entity ba siya? Registered ba kayo ng, what is your legal identity? May bank system kayo or what? What's the organizational status?
All right. For now po, the organization is registered here in General Santos City, the YADO, the I think Youth Association Development Organization,
Okay.
something like that. So it's like a department for the youth, no? We are one of the acknowledged and recognized na organization dito sa Gensan. And actually we are the next step would be crafting our CBL because we are planning to have it registered to the SEC.
Yes,
Yun po ang ano.
I suggest,
Kasi
yeah.
yun po ang fund, yun po ang advice nila, yung the people from the Asia Foundation who's been working with us as well in the past projects. They've been suggesting
Yes.
to have it registered on SEC because para hindi na mahirapan kasi ang nangyayari supposedly the time nung sa Tingog sa Tribo na project, the fund should be directed to us na parang
Yes.
ganun. Pero we don't have that SEC number and SEC registration, of course. So they had to
Yes.
like i-bridge nila na lang sa amin through another organization. So I think
That is a very
one step
good next step. That is a very good
Mhm.
next step. That is a very good. I'm asking that because your group can, because you already have a track record actually. So that's why I said the power of documentation. Keep it. What you have in your Facebook page is very easy, great reference, but you keep the technical behind the scenes. You keep a repository for that one because for funding's sake, you need to have an established track record that you are able to really show that you can handle a project. So as a mentor, I care for you and that one, because I'm seeing the future of your team to really flourish. You can stay ISKA, but ISKA has to grow mature, in which ISKA has to be funded. For ISKA advocacy to be sustainable, ISKA has to be funded so that your projects will have specific funding. And collaboration is the key. You have, wow, di ba? Ang ganda-ganda naman ng babae na ito. Sino kaya ito? I'm so happy to be part of that. So you have collaborated with these people across various backgrounds, across mga different organizations. Monique is a powerhouse stakeholder. She has a personal resources. She's also a businesswoman. And I think Monique will agree with me that as an organization, there's a lot of room for growth professionally, so that you are all young professionals. This team, you actually have an organization that you built from scratch, but now it's time for you to earn something from it. And that is using projects as your key strength, and having projects funded and implemented by your team, so that you can assign fees. Just like in the government, that government workers are being paid for their time. So why can't you? Your project, you have done so much already. So that's my point. And if you're able to do it sooner, the better. So ito is another key stakeholder. She is a commissioner now, but she even beyond her being beyond her commissionership. In that meeting alone, we did not expect that she would bless instantly the team, right? But because you have engaged her, and I think I would say that you get to know her through the ACT International Consulting, right? So with respect to the ACT International Consulting, because one thing that I really envision is networking. Is ACT International Consulting has been useful with respect to expanding your network?
Of course, it has been useful on our end. We have no access to these people at the Arjo. And you know that kami, we are just ordinary, dreamers siguro. But through the ACT International Consulting LLC, we have bridge, or connected to ACT has served as a bridge, for us, the young generation of leaders, to our elders. So we see them not just as like a classmate or a classmate in this mentoring session, but we see them as our elder and our mentor, and we value their advices, because we know that they've gone a long way, to where they are right now, and we are grateful, more than grateful, having ACT beside us and working with us. Thank you so much.
Because you have collaborated with that Jason of the Tuklas Katutubo, you got them on board. Si Tunas Tabunaway of the Matigsalog IP Group, Taga Kaulo, and some other parts, si Bailimpayin, si Josica of the Dadblaan Level Up Facebook group. So what I mean is that as a mentor, I am happy that yung part of my wish na goal ko na beyond the mentoring is networking. That mentees are able to network and collaborate in projects. And it is happening. Right? That is what's going on in right now. And you have exemplified that in your project. So as I said, we are small, but we are growing slowly and surely and strong. And the impact of the mentoring, how you are able to tailor down that mentoring in our Facebook group, and then how you're able to get to know yung other mentees na nakikipag-partner sa causes ninyo. It is masyadong fulfilling, masyadong happy as a mentor na nakikita ko na yung impact na hindi nagsa-stop doon sa nagle-learn lang kayo. Kung masabi mong nagle-learn, no, hindi ito right? This si Rene Boy, si Dato Jason. So hindi nag-stop. And guess what? It will just go better and you will get stronger. There will be more people that will become part of our ACT family. As you notice, we have a lot of actually educators in our group from different provinces because that's as for me, I am an advocate of people who are really doing great things, and sharing is caring. So if you see when I see your posting, I share it to as many, and I'm like ratatatatatatat, share. I share blah 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 blah, parang machine gun na nag-share kung saan. Well, that's the value of bakit ka pa nagiging member ng grupo kung hindi mo naman mapapakinabangan, right? But it is within kung ano yung goal ng group na yon, proper din naman. Hindi ka din naman mag-share doon sa Facebook group na hindi iyan ang konteksto or hindi iyan yung ginagawa ng grupo na yon. So, kami nila ni Anne, we are very happy. Si Anne ako, we are talking sometimes. Sabi ko, Anne, have you seen? Sabi niyo, ate, I'm just really so proud of what they're doing. Sa amin, ahead ng mga cultural advocates, ang happiness namin is that nag-multiply, hindi nag-divide. Nag-multiply yung cultural advocates, and we're seeing it in the younger generations. And there are some areas that you're doing it better than us because you are using available technologies of these days na hindi namin ginagamit when we started it. Right? If you agree, hindi namin nagamit when we started it. So it is really an honor to be a mentor and to collaborate with you all for this engagement. So thank you that you are applying what you are learning from the ACT International Consulting LLC and tailoring down what you need for your specific organization. So dili lang mo makulbaan atong mga terms ha katong sa ato ang ACT Facebook group kay actually ginahimo naman ninyo to. Kuan lang, go back and reflect. Tapos pag next time na makasalubong na nimo si tailoring down, kabalo ko na unsang meaning ni tailoring down, kabalo ka na kung unsang gisulti nga perform integrated change control, kabalo na mo nga kato di ay katong mga changes na ginahimo ninyo sa inyong nga project. Every one of you have decided, then you approve the change, di ba? That's it. Then you limit your scope, out of work, para dili hago ang mga beauty, right? So I'm so glad and thankful. It's this ends our PM 101. Unless otherwise you wanted to share some insights, then I will be quiet na kay Chikadora ra ba jud ko kay ako Melchor. May katapat ka na. I will record this one from my cell phone then. Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts of your learning, application ng concepts, personally how you're able to utilize what you're learning from our online mentoring in your personal life and professional life? Anyone? Or Rodel, you can start.
I think I will go first. No, first of all, I'm the Indigedos is not a credit alone to me or to the ISKA community or to the Istorya sa Kalinaw team. It is a collective effort of our mentors, of our stakeholders, and we are very grateful sa inyo po, sa lahat ng naging part, especially the participants who made it actually possible. Without them, this will remain as a dream. Siguro kung wala tayong mga participants for this one. Ayun, final thoughts for what happened and for Istorya sa Kalinaw in relation to ACT. I think the agile thing has really worked best for us because yun nga yung sabi ni Coach Arjo kanina. Sabi niya, what if Jibs will have to visit a family sa sa something. At the same with me. What if I'm gonna go to a far place? No, wala ako dito. So yun, what we did, it really worked for us kasi yun nga, it served as an empowerment as well sa mga kasamahan namin sa team, that without Rodel, Iska can still stand because Jibs is there, because
Yes.
Melcher is there,
Yes.
June and all the rest of the team members are knowledgeable in what they are doing. So what I am doing to my team is what you actually are doing to me, my mentors, no, to our mentors in Kamindanao, the mentors in from ACT, from BOI, no, from all the organizations that we have been involved to. So yun, hopefully we are making you all proud, or given the resources that uh, Melcher can really attest, no, that we have, like sabi ko sa kanya, he will talk to me in private. Sabi niya, wala na tayong ganito, na short na tayo sa ganito. He can attest that we have very limited resources. But I believe that the team has poured more than what they have. No, they have poured their heart in this effort, in this initiative, and I'm so proud of each one of them. I am so proud. They have been like sharpening their edges dito sa ginagawa namin sa Istorya sa Kalinaw. Though yun, open sila for everything, but they have been like contributing the best that they can. We don't have to remind each other when we see video. It's Charlie's task. When we see something like this, it's Jim's task, and I don't have to supervise them from moment to moment. I will just do the final comments and just do the final suggestions. But of course, if I believe that I don't have the like ultimate approval, I always seek for ano ba, gusto niyo ba to? Baka ako lang ang may gusto nito. Parang ganun, baka ako lang, and we don't have the same perspective and we don't have the same lenses. And it's good to have very diverse people in the team. It really worked so well. And yun. Thank you so much, Ate Arjo. I'll give the time to...
So, Jibs, ikaw. So, we're gonna go sa aking nakikita ko dito si Jibs, then si Melchor, then si Fidel ang last. Jibs.
So yeah, I remember a colleague ba na nagsasabi niya, there are things, nag-undergo din ng project management. Sabi niya, there are things daw that you can't learn in project management, but you can learn through your experience. And I really agree to that kasi most of the team alam mo yun, parang we started a project, then nag-undergo ng project management, which is kanang makita mo yung ma-apply mo din ba sa sarili mo, ay nagagawa ko na rin pala ito. And dahil diyan, gusto kong pasalamatan yung mga tao sa likod ng Istorya sa Kalinaw, yung mga pamilya namin na patuloy kaming sinusuportahan at pinapatuloy sa mga tahanan, sa tahanan nila pag kailangan namin ng alam mo yun, parang place na magalaan pag masyado ng stress out sa Istorya sa Kalinaw. Ganyan. And then ano pa ba? And yeah, nasabi na kasi lahat ni Rodel.
Pero Jibs, did you enjoy your role behind the scene? The techie side?
I really enjoy 100% yung role ko bilang media director ng Istorya sa Kalinaw. And yun nga, I hope one day yung sabi mo nga, Ate Arjo, na makahanap ko ng funding kasi we already have that passion and we don't want na nung tawag niyan? Wala yung Istorya sa Kalinaw. And yeah, for the indigenous community, we'll continue our call and our cause. Isang araw po para sa katutubong Pilipino.
Great. Okay, Melchor.
Hello. So, naingon naman nila tanan, joke lang. So, first of all, I'd like to say thank you sa talagang mga sponsors and sa talagang mga people behind sa Indigedos. So, thank you so much. So, of course, first of all, ako experience as a financer. So, it's a little bit stress siya kay syempre, paano mag-budget. Pero ang natakatak sa ako ang katong sa lesson ni ate, katong anak ko, ay at least na may mga webcam, mga fixed cost. So remember din ako ng fixed cost ni anak ko ay at least na mga fixed cost na mga itong webcam nga ginagamit namo sa mga
Materials.
yes, material
So,
long time siya nga ginagamit. So mao to siya so anak at least makalesen na pud mi ana. And of course actually to be honest at the Arjo makita ko nimo nga mga happy nga pero na ako pagka-introvert jud pero katong ginaingon ko nimo nga it's better to ask than to assume. Actually gusto na ko to i-keep ang sa kuha pero na-remember na ko giingon nga dapat mangutana jud ko. So nangutana kay kay Rodel nga unsa anong buhaton ani short na kaayo ta. So so dili ta mag-assume so dapat man. So ato and of course kani nga Indigedos and sa imong mga kani nga mentor it really helped us for our future endeavor po siya, especially sa mo as a young prof. So,
Dili ka
maano na
ba,
siya.
Melchor, dili ka ba karang wala ka ba nagka-question unsa ka man yung mga terms gani oy asa man ni sila pang Harvard paano man ni sila na apply in real life wala ka nagapangutana ana
Actually nakapangutana po ni ana ma'am kay Rude ano bas mangutana si ati Arjo o gani mga term nga taani.
no pero what I mean is that yung mga gina-share na ko kasi di ba inuulit ko pagkatapos natin ng one cycle inuulit ko siya ulit kasi hindi ko alam when are people I'm able to do it now pero I wanted to have a feedback from you all na when I share those terms murag langit at lupa I hope na na-bridge natin yung langit at lupa like yung sa ginagawa ninyo I hope you are able to see yung mga application ng mga concepts na yun because what we are learning in our mentoring are concepts. And I always said that you take a look at your project, visit your project, yung reflect on your project. Palagi ko sinasabi na ganoon, di ba? Reflect on your project. Is this concept applicable? So when I say that, I wanted you to connect the heaven and the earth. Kumbaga para ang katong mga terms murag naalang kitsa sa heaven murag dili kaayo makabuot kay mga technical. I know it's really technical but there's no other way for me to express it unless share it in the Tagalog or Binisaya na term. But still the terms can be very hindi natin ma-relate. So I wanted to get a feedback na at least right now pag ma-encounter na nimo si risk management kabalo na mo kung unsa si risk management. Pag kabalo na mo kung unsa mag-identify og risk, mag-plan og risk, mag-categorize sa risk, yung how you have to respond, paano mag-monitor, i-control ang scope. Kabalo na mo kung paano ninyo, asa ni siya karon gina-apply. Kasi our course is actually very technical and can be very overwhelming because it's very long. How many videos kaya yun siya? But actually, in reality, total 9 hours lang yun maximum lahat. Pero because I have broken them down specifically, minsan it can be overwhelming na hindi mo siya makonect. So ito, I'm trying to drive it to share a message na all of those processes, nagipang share nato sa online mentoring, everything was been done. So ikaw, Melchor, you learned about resource management. You've identified resource, physical resource, ano yung mga categories nila, di ba? Yung mga human resource, physical resources, fixed ba sila na resource? Or renewable, or karang replaceable, mga ingano. So, I'm happy to get that feedback nga, naaday kay na-apply dito. Yung scope, si Rodel, yung sabi ni, yung paulit-ulitin ka niya, Jebs, kasi may responsibility siya, kasi siya yung team leader. Siya yung face ng organization kasi siya man ang balandra ninyo dito. So isa ko po niya tanan kay kung mag-fail siyang mag-reflect po sa iya ang failure. Kasi ako niya yan kasi may sense of responsibility siya not only to himself but also to the team. Then all of the other team members. So Fidel, what's your take? Si Fidel ba nasa ACT Facebook group ka na ba, Fidel?
Hindi pa po. Ay, nandun na ba? Sa ACT Facebook group?
Na.
Ayun, yeah.
So si Fidel, kasi sila ni Jib, si Melchor, I think nakadalawang cycle na ito sila. So kumbaga ang maturity ang maturity nila sa mga paulit-ulit because repetition works. You know, repetition. As long as you are not going to leave the group, you will be learning more there because I'm gonna add some more. So Fidel, as a newbie, ikaw ba hindi ka ba nabigla? Unsa man ni sila? Anong gipasok man ko ninyo din ni? Karang kaya sabi ko walang exam ito ha kasi kung i-exam pa ta mo, ambot na lang basig mag-leave mo sa Facebook group. What's your take, Fidel? Experience,
Saan po?
everything you wanted to
Ah.
share.
Ano po, bago lang kasi ako sa Istorya sa Kalinaw, gi-invite lang ako nila yung mga January po, ganun. Tapos ang na-assign sa akin nung una kay mag parang retouch good sa kanila, magpa-beauty sa kanila ba sa kung paano sila kung presentable ba sila sa camera.
Presentable. So ikaw ang
Opo.
karang production na form.
Yes po. Tapos rin po ako sa inventory. Ako yung minsan ako yung nag-set up, tapos ako rin po yung nag-keep ng ng mga gamit po. Yun lang po yung work ko doon. Minsan nag-transcribe or kung may utos sila sa akin, yun po ang ginagawa ko. Taga-assist lang po ako as a newbie.
Yeah, don't say lang ha. I really know we are so used na karang lang, pero I really wanted to don't feel that kasi when you use that word, you felt like what you do is less important to the others.
True, ate. But you know, Fidel has the most important role of among everything, no? Kasi siya yung keeper ng kung mawala ang webcam na ginagamit namin, kung hindi namin makita, we can't produce a live stream.
Correct.
Siya yung nagki-keep ng yung mga smallest thing na palagi kong nakakalimutan, or si James maybe siya yung alam niya kung saan kukunin kasi siya ang taga-keep and that's a very important role in production.
Yeah. So ang stress ko is that do not think that what you do is less of the others because it will create something na parang hierarchy. All of you are contributing, the mindset should be all of you are contributing to this puzzle. Just like, you are a piece of that big puzzle. If one is lost, it will not look good. It will not look good. At least, just like, just yung piece by piece na ginawa ni Jibs doon sa, tanggalin mo yung isa, bungi na yung bungi na yung botlets. Nalingaw dyan ko dito kasi graphics siya, makalingaw. I hope si Hans, I bet si Hans is also very happy for that. Kaya sabi ko, we're very, very thankful. So with that, I will end this project management 101 that we're doing. So I'm gonna go back to our etong screen share again. So dito sa share natin, I would like to reiterate na this you were able to apply, right? In this and then Jibs, si Melchor, you already have a certificate of completion from ACT, right? So, Rodel, I'm stressing that because I wanted to empower you and your team members that I can give a certificate for them. They're good with the project already because you are done with the project. But I need to know if they are done with the viewing of the materials, going over it. All they have to do is let me know na ate, natapos ko na po lahat ng mga course materials. Then I will issue a certificate of completion. So that's it. So I have to thank you for your time spent with me. I'll upload this video, this summary, and also the bigger version as part of our documentation because we are sharing knowledge, and we hope that people will join us because this is actually a very, very cheap but valuable investment for yourself. I wanted to thank the sponsors. Your sponsors, you are under Act Kindness sponsor. Annalie Eday is one. You also have another Act Kindness sponsor that I could not divulge the name, but you are sponsored. Your $20 fee to be part of this training is covered, and that is our way of honoring you and your labor of love, your effort, and know that somebody paid for you to be in this mentoring, that it is not free, that because you have to value it as a professional training. I don't think so you can get this kind of training anywhere. That I am proud of, because no one will sustain engaging with you without additional fee in total reality. But me as a mentor, I am beyond that, because nurturing the sustainability that I wanted you to do the same thing in your capacity, that is my kind of happiness na. So, Bong salamat, thank you, maraming salamat to your partners, to the team members who are not able to make it to this call. Please know that we appreciate you. We have you in mind, and your contribution are also equally valued. To the supporters of the team, maraming salamat po sa pagsuporta sa kanila and for engaging, and more projects to come, and hopefully it will be a project that the ISKA can also be rewarded for their efforts, right? Right. So that's just it, and I'm going to